Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to do today's video. I'm doing a mom tag video. I thought this was a good way for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. If you're new here and you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you a part of my YouTube family. If you enjoy this video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. It really means a lot to have input from you guys, and I would like to know if you guys like this video. So let's get started. I'm going to be reading these questions off my phone because I haven't read any of these questions just yet. So number one, how old were you when you had your first child? So when I had Madeline, I was 25 years old. I was also, the whole time I was pregnant with her, I was 25 as well. So number two, what was the hardest thing about being pregnant for 9 months? So I feel like I was pretty lucky with my first pregnancy. I didn't have a lot of medical issues. I didn't really have anything crazy happen, so there wasn't really anything that was that bad about my first pregnancy. If I had to pick one thing, it would be that I did have a little bit of morning sickness during the first trimester, and I was working when I was pregnant with Madeline, so that was a little bit difficult just to make sure that I wasn't slacking on my job, but that I was also taking care of myself and what I needed to do for my baby. So I would say that that was one of the most difficult parts. Number three, can you think of any good things you enjoyed during those 9 months? So there are a few things I really enjoyed about being pregnant. The first thing is just the fact that you are growing a human inside of you and you get to see it grow and your body changes and all of that kind of stuff. It is really hard to have your body change so much, especially the first time, I feel like, because you don't know what to expect fully. But I thought it was really cool to see all the changes taking place and just to see my bump grow and all of that stuff. And then my absolute favorite part was getting to feel the baby inside, kicking and growing and moving and all that kind of stuff. And hiccups are really funny too. So that was one of my favorite parts of pregnancy. Number four, in your opinion, were all the things you heard about childbirth accurate or way off? So I feel like kind of a mix of both. I think that in some cases people tend to exaggerate, but that just could have been their story. A lot of births go a lot of different ways, so there's not really a way that you can compare birthing experiences. I feel like it's so personal to each woman and to each pregnancy. I know that sometimes even just within the first and second pregnancy there's a lot of differences. So personally, I feel like my birth was very I don't want to say easy, but it just wasn't very dramatic, I guess. I wouldn't take what you see in movies or TV shows or necessarily the advice of all of your friends completely to heart. Take it with a grain of salt and just know that your experience is going to be what you make it and what your body allows, and that's just kind of the way it is, and it's best to just go with the flow. Okay, so question number 5 is, would you have handled childbirth differently if you could redo it? The funny thing is I get to redo it in about 3 months or 2 months. So I feel like this time around, the one thing I would do differently is get my epidural sooner. I knew that I kind of, with the first one, I was like, oh, I'll try it and see, and then decide if I want the epidural. And I feel like I decided a little too late and past my comfort, especially because it takes the anesthesiologist about 45 minutes to an hour to get to your room after you request your epidural. So it's not like you request it and he's there. It took him a good 45 minutes to an hour to get there. So then you're waiting all of that extra time for it. So I would say that the one thing I would change is to ask for an epidural much earlier. It just makes the whole thing so much better. So if you're on the fence about getting an epidural, I would definitely consider getting it sooner rather than later, because it does help and it makes everything enjoyable. And it just takes the stress out of the experience, I felt like, at least with my time with Madeline. Question number 6 is, what would be your advice for someone who is about to have a baby? My advice would be to not expect anything going into it. I feel like if people make a big plan and make exactly what they want their birth to be, then it just becomes stressful when it doesn't go that way. I went into my first birth not really expecting anything. The only thing that I told my husband Adam was that I knew that I wanted to try it at least for a little while without medicine, but I was comfortable and okay with getting an epidural, and that was probably the way I was going to go anyways, but that I just wanted to try it and experience it a little while. So that was really the only thing, and I feel like that's part of the reason that it went so smooth, is that I didn't have any expectations. I wasn't stressed about, oh, we're not doing this right when I wanted to or whatever. It was just kind of went with the flow, and it happened as it happened, and it was actually a really enjoyable experience, for as weird as that sounds. So I would say to just go with the flow and let your body kind of tell you what is best for you and the baby at the time. Obviously, if there's medical issues that need to be addressed, to listen to your doctors, but if you're doing all right, then just listen to what you want to do and what you're comfortable with, and it'll all go well. Okay, number 7. What has been the hardest thing about being a mom? I think the hardest thing about being a mom has been this is probably specific to me, but I don't have a lot of friends that are moms. I'm the only one that has any kids. So I think that that's one of the most difficult things, is that you don't really have a lot of people around you that are in the same phase of life. That's not the same for everybody, and I am making friends that do have kids slowly but surely. But it's just kind of one of those things that I didn't expect to be a difficult part of motherhood, was not having anyone there to kind of like bounce stories off of or get advice from or stuff like that. You know, I always have my mom, but she's went through it such a long time ago that it's just different. So I think that would probably be one of the most difficult parts. The second difficult part, I think, is learning how to discipline your child. I feel like that came along a little bit later, obviously, but learning your discipline style and how to communicate effectively with your child when she can't fully communicate with you just yet, that's been the second hardest thing, I would say. Number 8, what has been the most rewarding thing about being a mom? I think the most rewarding thing about being a mom is just watching her grow and learn, and all of the new things that she does. It's amazing to see her, like, from her first word, or the first time she really connected that word to a thing, like the first time she said mama and really knew it was me, the first time that she, I don't know, was able to feed herself or puts clothes in her hamper by herself. It's just really cool to see the development process and know that because of you, they're learning all of these things, and it's just really cool that you get to help this little teeny human become the person that they're going to be one day. Number 9, what was the most surprising thing you discovered about being a mom? So I think the most surprising thing I discovered was, I guess, kind of the mom shaming. And I haven't really had like a ton of mom shaming, but it's just like little things here and there that people suggest or make it very obvious that they don't think that you're doing it the right way or something like that. I feel like that was really surprising. I didn't think that people actually did those kinds of things or said those kinds of things to moms, and it's just kind of disheartening when you're trying your absolute best and you know that what you want to happen, and then other people are giving their 2 cents and trying to change what you want to happen with your own kid. So I feel like that was the most surprising thing, is how many people that actually comes from in your life, and especially when it's not even something that you really asked for and they just feel like they need to tell you. Okay, so number 11, what was the most exciting milestone? This is a hard one. There's so many exciting milestones. I feel like the most exciting milestone would be either when she said mama and really connected it to me, or when she first started saying I love you. Those are the two that I would say were the most exciting. And just because I feel like communication is such a huge key part of life, obviously. So the fact that she started communicating with me and my husband, it was just such a really cool thing. Obviously the walking is really cool too, but I feel like when she started talking, that was probably the top of the list. Number 12, what is the worst thing your child has ever done? Well, she's only 19 months old, so she hasn't done too many terrible things. I feel like the worst thing she's done, I don't even know. She spilled a whole bottle of salt on the floor, maybe. That might be the worst thing she's done, which really honestly isn't even that bad, but that's probably the worst thing she's done. That happened like 2 days ago. It was the cutest thing though, actually. She spilled it when I wasn't looking and came up to me and said, uh-oh. And so then when I went and saw it, she said, wipes, because she knew that wipes could clean it up. Obviously we didn't clean it up with wipes. I got the vacuum, but so that was kind of cute that she spilled it and then she kind of had a plan of action for how to clean it up. So that's probably the worst thing she's done to this point. Okay, so number 13, what habit did you wish your child didn't have? That's a hard one. I don't know that she really has a habit that, I guess maybe taking the bows and the ponytails out of her hair. I know that seems kind of trivial, but as a girl mom, it just is like crazy. Every time you fix her hair, she rips it out and it's like back to square one. It's not a terrible thing, but it just, with the way her hair lays on her face. I just want it out of her face so she can see, and just looks a little bit more clean and stuff like that. So I feel like that would probably be the one habit, that if she would just leave her hair alone and let the bows and the ponies and whatever else be, that would be nice. Number 14, what habit of theirs makes you most proud? I think just her loving nature. Whenever we get somewhere and we see somebody that we know, like my parents or my sister or Adam's mom, she just, I don't know, it's like she lights up, she runs to him, she says hi, that kind of stuff. So I guess maybe the habit of learning how to be polite. I don't know if that's a thing, but, or learning how to interact with people. I just want her to be someone that can go into a room and feel comfortable and confident. And so I think that does start early, and I'm excited to see that that's already kind of happening. She still does get really, really, really shy if we're around a ton of people, but she has started to open up a lot quicker. So that's kind of cool to see. So I guess that would be the thing, is just like her loving attitude towards other people. Okay, so let's see, what number are we on? Number 15. Do you share any similarities with your child, both physical or personality? So I get told all the time that Madeline looks just like me. I don't personally see it. I get that she looks like me, but people say she's like my twin. So I would say that looks-wise, she definitely looks like me. Personality-wise, she has a lot of my personality traits. I don't know, I'm a very type A person, and I feel like I can see that in her already. She's very like specific about what she wants and how she wants it laid out and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cute to see that, but I hope that in some ways she kind of broadens her horizons on her personality and gets some of her dad's traits too. She does have some of them, but there's a lot of things about Adam that I really love and that I hope that come through in our kids, just because I feel like they do balance out some of my personality traits. So it'd be cool to see like a really good mixture of the two. Okay, number 16. Where would you like your child to be in 10 years? So in 10 years, she will be 12. So I want her to be in school and succeeding in school. I would like her to have some kind of hobby or sport or something that she's super passionate about, and just like chasing after what she wants to do with her life. I know that sounds really crazy for a 12-year-old, but I think that passions start young, and so if she could find something that she truly loves and that inspires her and motivates her, I hope that she has something, at least for while she's 12, that she enjoys that much and that makes her super happy. Number 17. What is something that having a child has taught you? So I feel like something that that becoming a mom has taught me would be to have a lot of patience. I am not always the best with patience, but being her mom has definitely taught me how to have better patience and how to work on that. And so I feel like that's one thing that becoming her mom has taught me. Not like she's hard to deal with or anything, but just the things that toddlers can get into, or the things that babies, they're crying all the time or whatever. You just have to learn to have patience and smile and just know that these years are going to go by so fast, and that's all you can do. And okay, so number 18, did you imagine that you'd be a mom at the age you became a mom? So it's kind of funny because when I was younger, I always thought that I would get married. I guess I kind of thought I'd get married at 25 and then we'd have kids after that. So I'm pretty close to that. My husband and I got married when we were 24, and then we had kids when we were 25. So I feel like it's pretty close to what I thought. I'm happy with the way it happened. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love having a kid. I don't know if I'm considered young for having kids, but I love having a kid at my age. It just seems like a good fit. I don't feel like I'm too old to be having kids and like they're running me over. And I don't feel like I'm too young to where I didn't have any life experiences before I had kids. So I feel like it was a good age. Number 19, describe your child in a single sentence. So if I had to describe Madeline in a single sentence, I would say that she's a cute and tiny little ball of sass. She is the sassiest little girl ever. She's also a little bit small for her age, so she is just this little ball of sass and attitude, and it's really kind of cool to see. Sometimes it gets a little on my nerves, but I love every second of it. And number 20, the last question, how have you changed as a person since becoming a mom? So I feel like becoming a mom has changed me in a couple ways. I think that the first one is that, as I said before, I'm much more patient, and I'm much more like open with my time and schedule and that kind of stuff. I used to be so specific on what I wanted to get done when, and now I have kind of opened that up, and it's just kind of, I want to make sure to get this done, but it's fluid on what time of day I'm going to do it. So that, and then also it's given me more confidence to chase after my own dreams, if that makes any sense. I feel like when you have these little eyes watching you, you have a lot to live up to in your own self and just what you would view as being successful as a mom. So I feel like you get this time in their lives to really show them an example of what a grown-up adult should be and how they should be acting and what they should be doing. And I think that there's no better way to do that than to chase after your own dreams and just show them how happy and passionate you are about life, and about your husband and all of that. So I feel like it's given me a lot of drive and motivation to become the best person that I can possibly be, and to show her what being a strong, independent, smart woman looks like, so that when as she grows up, she sees what that's going to be for her. So I feel like that has changed me a lot, and just being more outspoken in what I personally want. And by personally, I mean like with regards to my family. I have had to kind of stand up for us in a number of different ways. Nothing crazy, but just, this is what we're going to do for my family. This is what works best for Madeline. This is what we have to do. So it's given me like a lot more confidence to just say, nope, this is how we want to do it, and make sure that it's the way that works best for us. So I feel like that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this and that you got to learn a little bit more about me and my daughter Madeline. If you have any other questions that you want me to answer, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll definitely answer all of the questions that are left down there. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you as a part of my YouTube family. I will see you in my next video.